Hi campers, how are you? Welcome to week 3 of Camp Reset 2018. I am so excited that I get to participate this year. Last year, I think it just fell upon me suddenly and I wasn't able to join in all of the fun, but I heard so many great things that I just had to join this year, and I decided that I was going to clear out my schedule and really focus on these 6 weeks of self-care and my faith life, and just some personal items that I really wanted to work on that I've been kind of putting on a back burner, and I just knew it was time to work on them. Anyway, let me introduce myself. My name is Damaris Velasquez, and I am a part of the Reset Girl design team. So I'm one of the team members. And when Corey asked me to record a video, a mini workshop, I was over the moon excited. This is my first time doing anything like this, so I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm so excited, and I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I had heard a rumor that there was going to be a postcard swap, and I jumped right on it and I said, okay, let's do a DIY postcard. Let's play with our supplies. Corey provided us so many printables, and I would like to include that in this project today. But also, we purchased a lot of goodies, and for us crafters that have been crafting for a while, we have a lot of stuff that we can use for postcard DIY. So that's what we're going to talk about today, and that's what I'd like to share with you today. First up, I just want to show you that the most basic thing you can do for this postcard swap is to purchase a postcard. Now, you can find anything from your city skyline to maybe famous museums in your city or state. And the one that I just found in my stash was this one. This is not an authentic Paris postcard. I am not from Paris. I would love to go one day, but I've never been. But this is just one I had in my stash just to kind of show you that you can purchase these. This one was purchased at IKEA, and you can just write a little note, add a stamp, and you're good to go. Okay, so that's one of the basic ways that you can send out a postcard. The next option I thought about was a lot of us at the Reset Girl groups that are on Facebook, we have purchased this book, a book that takes its time. Okay, and so due to us being introduced to the book by Corey, a lot of us did go out and purchase it, and I have had this at least for a year, and I have not even looked at it. But what I thought was pretty fun is that it comes in this book, you have an area that's called snail mail, and so it actually does come with mini postcards that you can just fold and cut out. Okay, and they're perforated so that you can just easily pull them apart. So this is a great way also for you girls who are interested in working through this book during Camp Reset. You can use your postcards. They're already made for you, and all really you need to do is add the address, leave a little note, and then add your stamp. Okay, so how simple was that? That was so quick and easy. Your book, I believe, comes with 16 postcards. And so if you signed up for 10, you've already completed the task. Very simple. So that's one way that you can find your postcards, not only at your local store, but also right in your home. Today, what I wanted to do also was get a little bit more creative and implement different ideas. So I went on Google and I was able to locate some postcard printables. If you search in the engine free postcard printable, you may find a few of these images. And so what I did was I just copy pasted them into a Word document, and I was able to resize them bigger, smaller, and so I was able to print them out. And the paper I used, it's that 32 pound that we've been introduced to by Corey. I don't know about you, but I'm never gonna go back to any other paper. This is just so beautifully smooth. I just love it so much. Anyhow, so I've printed them on 32 pound paper, and I'm gonna work with these a little bit later, but I wanted to show you that's one idea you can also implement in your postcard DIY project this week. And if you don't have a printer, these are just a couple of sheets that you can print out, depending how many swaps you signed up for. It'll probably be maybe a couple of dollars if you get them printed at Staples, Office Depot. So there's that. And then another idea I had was, if you're not crafty, we're gonna get to the crafty part a little bit later, but if you're not crafty, if you're new to all this gluing and cutting and stamping and watercoloring that you're being introduced to during Camp Reset, then another way that you can create a postcard is with your telephone. Very simple. If you go and scroll through your phone and look for a photo that you feel like looks like a postcard, you can print that out. So you can either send it to your local print shop. Walgreens has great prints. Costco, I think, in my opinion, is better than Walgreens, but if you have a printer at home, a photo printer, you can go ahead and print them out. And so that's what I've done here. I recently went to the beach and I took this photo, and so this is my personal art, and I just want to show you that it prints really beautifully. And so what I've done is I've taken one of these printables, I've sized it to measure my my photo here. This is a 4x6 print, and I've added my postcard printable in the back. So that's another way that you can DIY. Instead of going out and purchasing postcards from your town or city, you can go out and go on a nature walk and cross that one off your bingo chart or your Camp Reset chart list, and you can get some exercise in the meantime as you find a nice scene where you can take a photo of and then make it into a postcard. And I think that when doing that, the receiver, the recipient, is really going to appreciate that you took the time out to find a special location, take a photo, and make it into a postcard for them. So this one is going to go out to one of you girls. I don't know yet who I'm signed up with. I'm going to find out soon. But this is something that you can also do. Here's a 5x7. This one I took leaving one of the entrances to my community here. This is one I took when the sun was setting, and I thought it was so pretty. I asked my husband to please stop the car so I could roll down the window and take a photo, and that's what that is. So I'm gonna build this later into a postcard, and one of you girls are gonna receive it. I'm really excited about that. Okay, so another thing you can do along with your printables, and I've already pre-cut this postcard one. It's super soft blush pink. This is my color. What I've done is I've looked through all of my scrapbooking stash, and I found this Prima pad. This is roughly an 8x11 pad, and it comes with 30 sheets, and you can kind of see how pretty and shabby those pages are. You get multiple pages of each design, and so you can go into your pattern paper and cut out a 4x6 or a 5x7 and lay it on top of a postcard. So that's the first project I want to do today. I've already pre-cut this piece from that pad, and so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue it together, and maybe I'm going to add a phrase here that maybe says greetings or hello from Camp Reset, or however my idea takes me now. So what's really great is that it's also double-sided, and so even though my printable is smaller than my postcard, it's still going to look pretty because it blends in with that background, and you also get a really pretty border. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to pull out some of my stamps, and these are the easiest ones that I can showcase. These are by Amy Tangerine. These are some wood stamps. So I've just grabbed my closest stamp. This is Lawn Fawn's Black Licorice, and I'm just gonna build greetings right across this front. So starting with my G, I'm just gonna go ahead and start inking up my wood stamp. Now, the benefit of the wood stamp or the rubber stamp is that it's quick and easy to use. However, you're not really able to see the impression like if you're using an acrylic stamp. And for those that don't understand or don't know what an acrylic stamp is, here's an example. This is what an acrylic stamp would be clinging to, and this is what an acrylic stamp looks like. So when you lay it together, you can still see where your impression is going on your page. That's what I mean by an acrylic stamp. So that's the only downside when using your when using your wood stamps. So I think it's okay. I think whoever receives this is still going to appreciate that I put some thought into it, even though it's not perfect. And we're all learning that nothing in life is perfect, right? We're all learning it through Camp Reset. The other day I was able to art journal in the art journaling section over in my handbook, and I really went to town on the imperfect page, and I really let out a lot of my feelings, and I was a little hesitant to share that, but I'm glad I did, because I know that the more I share, the more connected I am with the ladies and the gentlemen, because I know there are some gentlemen in the group too. The more connected I'm feeling with everybody. And so that's important to me, not to just share what I've done. Hey, look at what I did. It's more of, I want to develop a real relationship with a lot of these people that I interact with online. And I'm just kind of messing up my fingers because I want to remove the smudge around the edges so that there's not too much of a smudge here. Okay, so let me just continue and put my ing. You may hear some music in the background. I have my Camp Reset Media Lounge playing. Okay, we're almost done with this one. And let's put down our S, and then we'll glue everything down. Greetings. Okay, you can add stickers, you can add flat embellishments. I don't recommend anything bulky, just because we know USPS mail is super strict, but that's pretty much it. Now we're gonna flip our postcard back, and we're going to glue this piece. The glue I'm using is called Nuvo Adhesive by Tonic Studios. I really like it, and it dries quickly, so when you're putting your item down, make sure everything is lined up neatly. And you want it to be, you want it to land where you want it to land. So there it is. There's my postcard, done, quick and easy. How fast was that? And so I can also add a name later on when I know who it's going to, or I can add a few images as well. So there's that. Another way you can build your postcard is with your supplies. So all of those hoarded 12 by 12 sheets of paper, if you go digging, you just may find something like this. This one I found, this is by Teresa Collins. It's called Travel Ledger, And on this side, you see something weird and boring, and none of us are into damasks anymore. At least I'm not. And so when we flip it over, we're gonna find these gorgeous postcard images printed on really sturdy cardstock. So I went ahead and I've already pre-cut the first two on top, and I'm gonna show you how to build that as well. Another thing you can find in your collection when looking through your stuff is you can go look for pattern paper that has those 3x4 cards, 4x6 cards that we all love to hoard, and we bought it for Project Life, but we love to hoard things. So I was able to find this collection, Summer Vibes, I believe it's called, by Simple Stories, and I thought it was really cute that these had mixtape images. This side is cute too, but I prefer the mixtape side because it just reminds me of growing up, going to church camp. I went for several years. My mom was a counselor. I never snuck out, like I was a good girl, but it does remind me of going to camp with your pink Sony boombox and having your mixtapes, and having one side of your tape be like Christian music, because just in case your counselor came, you had to flip it really quick to the A side and make sure she hears that you got your Christian songs playing. But then on the other side, you had your Donna Summer, you had your freestyle. So that, I thought that was relative to the project we're doing and to the workshop we're all involved in. And so really simple, I cut it down to the size of this postcard. And now I'm just basically going to glue it to the back of that. Super simple. Okay. And because they're the exact size, I'm just going to line up the edges and press. And now we've created a super fun DIY postcard, personalized for this one person. This is a one-of-a-kind postcard for this person, whoever's going to receive it. So there's that. Same thing here. So because these are smaller than a 4x6, I had to cut it down. And so in this instance, I'm able to either measure it and glue it onto the postcard and then cut around, or I can pre-cut. Now, I don't want to pull out my paper trimmer and make all that noise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue, in this instance, I'm going to glue the postcard to the image instead of vice versa like I've been doing. So make sure you get all those edges because you don't want those curling up and attaching themselves while in transit. Okay, so this is not going to be my side, it's going to be this side. And because all of the wording is shifted over to the right, that's where my postcard should land, is over shifted to the right. So let me go ahead and line it up to that edge. Okay, smooth it out. There may be some glue that is going to squeeze from the edges, and that's okay. Your hands will get dirty. This is a fun project. Make sure that everything is lined up nicely, and then you can begin cutting around that piece. So I'm gonna grab the scissors that are closest to me, and it's a good thing I got these because these are non-stick. So then we're just gonna go ahead and cut around that edge. Okay, and there's your postcard. And you're gonna leave it to dry a little bit because it's still wet from the glue, but you can just leave it out to dry for a little bit. Another idea I had with DIY is we all have, maybe not everybody, but I have a ton of just random cards that I've purchased just on hand. And I thought it would be fun if we can just cut this out and build our stamp behind, build our postcard section behind. So for this, I will pull out my trimmer. This is a Cricut trimmer that I recently purchased at Joann, and it was on sale, and I really needed a upgrade, so that's what I did. Okay, so I've removed the back of that, which I can also use to cover with pattern paper and make into a postcard. So don't throw them away. You can still use them. And now this is where I'm going to build my postcard. So for all you ladies that have postcard stamps that you can use, come and pull them out, because I just found mine and I was so excited that I had found mine. This is an old stamp set that Joann designed. Is it Joann? No, I think it's Hampton. Hampton Art designed it, but it was sold at Joann. And I thought I got rid of it. I thought I sold it or gave it away, and I'm just so glad I did it. So, and you can see it was used. So this is now where I'm going to build my postcard area in the back. Now, this is not a acrylic stamp, it's a rubber, but it's still going to cling to my my block here. This is considered an acrylic block. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over and ink up my stamp, making sure that I know where I want it to go. Okay, so let me ink up my stamp. And you girls that you have your postcard stamps, pull those out and play with them. Okay, so center it here. If you guys hear my dog, I apologize. I kind of locked her up in a room because she's always barking. Like any little noise, she's barking. So right now she's a little upset with me because she's not with me in my craft room. So there you have it. There's your postcard. You can add your stamp here, write your note, write your address, and it's good to go. So there's another idea. Also, if you have printed extra copies of your Camp Reset freebies, or if you purchased extras from the website, you can use that as well. So I'm going to show you my punch buffet. This is not everything. I've been doing this in waves, but you can come in here and kind of just pull some pieces and see what you want to work with. I got the little banners. I got the arrows. These are my favorite items that Recircle sells. These whimsy arrows. These are my favorite, my absolute. I mean, have I mentioned that these are my favorite? How many times can I say it? And then I got some circles in different sizes. So you can come in here and play and pull out what you need. I've already pulled out what I'm going to use. So let me just bring it over here. This is building now your Camp Reset postcard. So how fun. This is something that I fussy cut. And for the girls that are wondering fussy cutting, I'm going to show you in a minute what that looks like. But basically fussy cutting is when you cut around a printed image and you want to remove all of that white space and you use your scissors to do it. So that's pretty much what fussy cutting is. So I fussy cut this wood piece here. And so I'm just going to build it very quickly. Okay. So where's my glue? I lost my glue. Okay, I'm gonna build that. Now for this one, I'm gonna do something a little different, and hopefully it won't be returned back to me. But for this one, I'm gonna laminate it because I don't want any of these extra pieces that I'm going down to lift up, especially my honey. Like, she's so cute and I don't want her to get damaged in transit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my laminating machine while I build my backgrounds. And like I said, you can find these printables in your downloaded handbook. folder. Okay, this I left the edge on purpose just because I want to create some height and some dimension to it. So I'm just going to cut that off as soon as I'm done gluing things down. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in my wood, my sliver of wood, and I think I want to add this one. I'm not sure if I want to add flowers because there's flowers here and I don't want it to be too busy, but I think I want to add this guy. So first I have to glue down my wood sliver, glue her down, and then maybe add this on top to create some layers. Or I can bring in this item that says camp reset. How cute would that be? The only problem is it doesn't fit in my frame here, and so I won't be able to use it unless you build your postcard sideways. Then that's something you can do. So if you're going to build your postcard sideways, you can do that definitely. But for today, I'm just going to, and since I know this piece here is damaged, I don't know why it was damaged. I might have ripped it, but I'm just going to leave it out and cut it off. So since I know that, I'm going to make sure that I don't glue that section. And because I'm going to laminate, I really don't need to adhere or to add too much glue because I am going to laminate that. Okay, next is my honey, and in a few seconds I'll show you what the fussy cutting is all about. I know you girls are interested. Many of you girls already know, you're pros, but I've read in the comments, what's fussy cutting? And by the way, I've really enjoyed camping with you girls and guys. Even though whoops, I made a big glue smudge. Even though I'm on the design team, I have really immersed myself in this camp and I am so loving every aspect of it. That handbook is just so amazing. Everything, like Corey put her heart into it and it shows. Like it truly does show that she worked so hard on it, and I appreciate her so much. I just want to take that time to say that, you know, she's super busy and I really don't like messaging her too much because I know she's so busy running her business and her brand and getting things off of her to-do list, but I thought this would be a great time to thank her personally. Okay, so this is fussy cutting. It's that simple. One tip I'd like to give you that I've learned throughout the years is keep your scissor hand steady and just move your hand that's guiding the paper. So if you keep your scissor hand steady and just twist the hand or the wrist that's guiding the paper on those curves, that's gonna make your edges creamy smooth and not sharp and like ridiculous. So there you have it, fussy cutting. So this is where I'm going to add my other layer. Okay, put some glue on that, make sure that it's straight. Stop and smell the flowers. How cute is that honey with all her wood? She's got her little bandana on. She's ready to chop some wood at camp. You know what? I'm just gonna use my scissor to cut that off. Okay. Once again, I'm sorry about my dog Daisy. She's upset. Okay. So we still haven't glued down our backing. That's because I want to laminate it first. So if you're doing laminating on your postcards, make sure you don't laminate your this thing because it needs to get stamped by the people at USPS. And honestly, I don't know if this is gonna work, like if they would accept it, but I'm hoping they do. I'm crossing my fingers. Okay, so I have a sheet here. If I can just get it to open. And I'm gonna slip that all the way over to the end. make sure it lines up. I can cut it later on so that it's all even, but for now, let me just pull it out a little, just because I know my laminator tends to curl with that first sheet insert that I do. It curls on the top left. So here we go. I'm gonna bring this guy over. I have him ready to go, and I'm just gonna slide him through. I set it at a 3. I could have gone higher, but I don't want it to be as see how it curled here? That's exactly what it always does. Okay, so I'm just gonna pass it through one time. I'm not gonna, normally I would do double-sided, but this is just gonna be one quick run through, just so that all of those pieces are secured and they're not gonna lift up. You probably could have used less glue than I did since you're laminating, but at this point it's already been done and we're almost finished here. Okay, so I'm gonna turn that off, move it to the side. Okay, I'm gonna cut off the edges here, and since it's a straight, I don't need to fussy cut anything. I'm just gonna bring it right to the edge and just cut, making sure that everything's lined up right. Once again, let's do a little bit more on this edge. We are almost done. I just have to grab my printable postcard and glue it behind here. And I've got a little bit of a mistake here because it warped my plastic, but that's okay. I just cut it right out. Okay, so here's my card. Now I'm gonna grab this printable here and I'm just gonna lay it on top. Okay, and since the tones match, I thought it would be perfect. What's also nice is that I have that background showing through. Okay, so we're gonna glue this down. And Daisy's getting louder and louder. I am so sorry about that. Unless I leave her outside by herself, there's no way for me to record this in silence. I tried. There it is. Just lay it down flat. Eventually it'll just stay. Add your stamp, add your address, write your note, and now you have a personalized Camp Reset, one of a kind, authentic DIY postcard. How fun is that? All of our postcards we made today, they're all gonna go out, and if you receive it, if you are on the swap and I was chosen to be your swap partner, you may get one of these. Okay, so that's all. Thank you so much. Before I go, I want to share, if you are interested in following me on social media, I do have a couple of platforms that I share projects on. Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook. You know me here as Damaris Velasquez on Facebook. On Pinterest and Instagram, the user is @StudioD. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you girls really enjoy creating your own postcards. I really want to see what you guys come up with. And you're not limited to what's here, to what I showed you. Be even more creative. Think outside the box and make it your own. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of Camp Reset. Bye guys.